right, I'm here with Coach Brown. He's getting ready for another year. As he told me, 21 years as a head coach, 11 years here at St. Mary's.
Correct.
I mean, every year when the season comes around and you look back and just think of like all the changes that's happened from like when you first got the head coaching position and now to this point, like with the way basketball has changed. Is it always like? Do you ever like sit back and think about it, just the way the game has changed and even high school, the way high school basketball has changed all these years?
Oh yeah, it's, it's totally different now. How you're supposed to coach the kids, how you have to interact with the kids and the parents. For me, even today was like the first time I was sitting back at work and I was thinking like this is the first year in 9 years that I haven't had either my son or my nephew on my team. So a little bit of different emotion going into the season, but I always get antsy around this time of the year, ready to go, and I still have the drive to compete and get my team ready. So I'm hoping to get these guys ready this year as well.
And I think this is probably one of the first times that you haven't had a solid core that's been together for a while, like as far as like a starting lineup together, because you have an entirely different starting lineup for a while. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I mean, for the last 4 or 5 years, we've had guys that are returning with a lot of experience under their belt, or guys that I coached through AAU, my last few teams, so they knew my system pretty good. This group, good thing about this group is they had a chance to compete against the older guys in practice last 2 years. So I think we have some learning to do. I think we'll have some curves during the course of the season, but I think we're going to surprise a lot of people when it's all said and done, though.
Did you see? I know I saw this between summer and fall league. I saw just kind of how much better they were playing as a unit between from summer league to fall league. Did you see the same thing, especially when you guys got into fall league?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely seen a big difference from the very beginning of the summer to the end of the fall. Even if we weren't winning games, they were playing a little bit different, getting used to the game speed. Even with Donnell being out, you know, I think Jake, my guy Jake, who was an eighth grader, really improved a lot. Got used to the game speed. Marlon had a good fall, summer. So we're expecting. We have a lot of young kids. We at times we'll have we could have on the floor an eighth grader, a few freshmen, a few sophomores. But I've been telling these guys all along, we have a bullseye on our back. We're the only team in the state that's been ranked in the top 20 for the last 10 years, outside of COVID year. So, no one's gonna feel bad for us that we lost 5 stars from last year.
It's kind of like a gift and a curse too when you got when you got some young guys that they don't have that much varsity experience. They got a little bit, but it's kind of like they kind of know what they're doing. But there's gonna be some points where you just gotta be like, all right, we gotta this is what we're gonna do, right?
Definitely some learning pains for us. And I was thinking about and talking to my other coaches about it, like I have to give them a little room to make mistakes on the offensive end. But defensively, we're not going to allow that. We know we have to defend, and that's where we're going to stress that in the preseason to get ready for the teams that we're going to face during the course of the year. So offensively, there'll be times that we may not shoot the ball well. We may have some turnovers nights, but as long as we defend and rebound, we should be able to stay in games.
And as you said, December 8th is really next week, and I don't think you guys don't have. Do you have any scrimmages lined up, or is it just?
So we have 8 practices before the first game. We have these 4 practices up until Thursday. Friday we have the jamboree, which is a non-practice day. Then Saturday, Sunday we're gonna go scrimmage Woburn, and we're gonna go to New Hampshire for a scrimmage on Sunday. Then we come back and we have 4 practices Monday through Thursday again. And our first game is Friday against Andover, who's one of the top teams in the state all the time.
Yeah, that's quick. That's quick for you
have
guys.
to figure out what you're gonna put into the first few days. But we're going to stress defense, hopefully, and we're going to try to play as fast as we can at times. And like I said, we expect to have some nights where we're not playing as good as we have in the past. But as long as we compete and learn from our mistakes, I think by the end of the year we'll be capable of beating a lot of teams.
Was there the learning lessons? There's always learning lessons in the loss, but what were some of the lessons you took away from that state championship loss against
I'll be honest with you, I haven't even watched that game film. I never watched our last game after we lose. But obviously, we got down, but the kids didn't give up. They competed and they played hard and made a run at the end. But you have to understand, you're not going to win them all. And we've had a great run. We've played the last possible game in the state for the last 3 out of 4 years. The one year we didn't was COVID year. So we lost at the Garden 3 years ago. 2 years ago we won it all, and then last year we lost the last game of the year. So if you can advance and play the last game possible, you have to consider that a successful season.
That also leaves that's a long, long season. It's a long season as well, and then the off season even longer because now you have either if you win it, it's a happy off season. If you lose it, it's kind of like all right, we gotta get
Right.
back to square one to get back to that point.
Right. Once you win the state championship, that season doesn't end until the next game starts the
Right,
following
right,
year.
right.
Then obviously when you lose it, you want to get back and you want to get back in the gym and try to get better as a group or better as a team. Obviously we lost 5 starters that played a lot of minutes for us over the last 3 or 4 years, but I think we have a group that's capable of making some noise as long as they're willing to trust each other and put the effort forward.
And you got Andover on the schedule. Is it where you guys play Wareham or? I know you guys are playing at Emmanuel College, but
Against New Bedford,
New
who's supposed to be
Bedford.
one of the
Okay,
better Division
okay.
One teams in the state this year. We're playing Newburyport, who's supposed to be a very good team out of the Cape Ann this year. FNL have been told. So we got the St. John's Prep. We got Lit English in the Christmas tournament. So we're gonna have a tough schedule, and we know that no one's gonna feel bad for us, knowing that we lost what we lost. But
How many non-conference games are you guys able? Were your team able to get this year?
we only play like 6 or 7 conference games, and we have 23 games scheduled. So we have up to 15 whatever non-conference games, which hopefully helps us when the power ratings come out.
Hey man, December 8th is only a week away. That's because everybody's starting that week after. Yeah, everybody's starting like the 12th or the 11th.
Well, that's an endowment game, so it's not a game that's going to count on our record, but it's a game that counts for stats, and it's a glorified game scrimmage,
Okay.
which is great opportunity for these young kids to get some varsity experience in front of a crowd against a very good basketball team, a well-coached basketball team. So we'll see how it goes.
We'll also see how much of how in shape they are too. 'Cause they tell me they're in pretty good shape, but when we get to that game, that's when we gotta figure out who's really in shape.
Like, I mean, we have, if you've seen it during the fall, we have 19 kids that were showing up during the fall. 'Cause I opened it up to everybody. Anyone can come. I'm not going to turn anybody away. So the coaches have a tough decision to try to dwindle that number down to 12 to 15 guys, whatever we may do, and so guys have to compete in the next 8 days in practice.
Definitely. It's a great thing. Competition is always great. December 8th, be there. They'll be here opening up the season against Andover. Friday, they are at Lynn English for the Jamboree. Make sure you check out the Jamboree at Lynn English. Is like 4 or 5 games, I think. First game's at 4, last game's at 8. The Lynn teams finish it off. It goes Classical, Tech and St. Mary's, and then Lynn English.
Should be a great night. Everyone should come on out for sure.
Definitely, Coach. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming
No
down.
problem. Have a good one.
All right.